This episode of Storyline is brought to you by The Dirt Poets. Today on Storyline, saving a puppy, pacing, and a quote of the week. But first, it's 6 more pages of the stereotypes as they try to figure out if they can ever work together again. Let's check in on David.
Hey, Ellen. I was hoping...
Hey, Marco, I'm not saying yes.
Then why are you calling?
I'm not saying no either.
You know, you can at least lock the door back when you break into my house so that I don't have to be terrified walking into an unlocked home.
Date tonight?
Of course.
With who?
Josh 5.
You're numbering them.
Well, I blame our parents' entire generation. I mean, what actor did all the women fall in love with if they named all their children Josh? Mom even said she was going to name you Josh at one point.
Josh Belushi.
Not a real person.
Sure he is. Animal House.
Because I'm your sister and I love you, I'm going to pretend that that never happened.
Just kidding.
And next you're going to be telling me that Greedo shot first.
And didn't he?
You know, they designed balls originally as weapons and I could take you down.
Maybe it was war games.
Why would everyone name their children after the computer in war games?
Seeped into the public's consciousness due to the impending fear of Soviet nuclear attack. Confession. I was working on that sentence as soon as I thought to bring up war games.
Huh. I tipped my invisible hat to you.
Oh, they perfected that technology.
Yes, they have. And since I consider myself a trendsetter of both fashion and technology, though it is a little uncomfortable, I'm willing to put up with it. Beauty is pain. And have you ever tried to fit a smartphone into girls' skinny jeans? It's painful.
And what number date is this?
With Josh 5?
No, this week.
4.
4 in 3 days? Any repeats?
No.
And what must the girls at work think?
They think I'm a total slut, but they don't understand the impact it has on my food budget every month, unless I meet some psycho guy who wants to go Dutch because of how I order, and even then, I still get a discount, 'cause I'm cute.
That sounds economic. You're cooking tonight, though.
Yeah, he knows a guy, so he's bringing Kobe beef.
First date and at your place. Gutsy.
Yeah, my place. Even if it starts to get weird, I'll just use my patented technique to make him want to leave.
You'll have to show me that sometime.
You actually have to go on a date to use the technique.
How do you know I don't have a girlfriend? I could, you never know.
First of all, you don't. If you did, which you don't, it would have to be on Facebook to be official, and it's not, so you don't.
Smarty pants.
I know everything. They invented an entire Smarty line just for me.
Everything?
Everything. For example, you are here sitting and moping on my couch because Galactic Records has decided to reunite the stereotypes because of the viral video. And you're a little upset because nobody wants to play with you, which you should be.
How in the unholy misery do you do that?
I know everything. I haven't lost a sock in 12 years.
Because you know where they are.
See, I'm so glad you got that because it sounded so great and witty in my head. And then when I said it, it sounded really weird. So, good job.
Got your back, sis.
Yeah. So why are you here? You know what you want to do. Just do it.
I want your advice.
No, you don't. You want my advice so that you can blame me when it doesn't work. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me a lot. Shame on me. Shame. Shame, shame.
Your shame is great.
Yes, it is. So, did they all want you gone?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Time.
It's 7:15.
7:50. You need to go. I need to get ready. Get out. Go.
I'm still upset.
So fix it! And get out!
Welcome to Storyline, the show where you get to watch 3 aspiring filmmakers learn how not to make feature-length film. I'm your host, Ben Howe, and this episode comes with a no-vomit guarantee. For my mom. Save the puppy.
Cat.
What is this puppy and why would you want to save it?
Save the cat.
Save the puppy is a term coined by screenwriter Blake Snyder.
Save the cat.
The idea is, if you have a character, usually your protagonist that's really hard to like, you need to have them do something that makes your audience like them, like save a puppy.
Cat.
Shut it. Now, it's usually not as blatant as that, but just think about a character that you like, but that you probably shouldn't. Captain Jack Sparrow. Jack is a selfish, manipulative, sneaky, cowardly, alcoholic pirate. His character could easily be the lead character's sidekick that stabs him in the back later. Now, you shouldn't like him, but he's given one of the most iconic, memorable, and funny entrances ever. From the moment he sails into Port Royal on his tiny, sinking ship and steps out onto the dock, we as an audience think, I will follow this man anywhere. And that's what it really boils down to. You want to make the audience want to follow this person around. Another roundabout way to follow this rule harkens back to Forces of Antagonism from a couple weeks ago. If your protagonist is difficult to love, make your antagonist really easy to hate. If your hero won't get the cat out of the tree, have your antagonist shoot it.
Hey, you said cat there.
I'd rather shoot a cat.
You monster.
Now this way the audience is telling your hero, get that guy. We'll deal with you later, but get that guy first. Now, should you go with this method, you need to introduce it as fast as possible before the audience checks out. So, the method we went for here was to take David, who, let's be honest, he's a jerk, and we put him with his sister, Alyssa. We try to make Alyssa immediately likable and let you think, well, I like her and she likes him, so there must be something in there to like. And now rather than seeing him as a straight villain, you're thinking, interesting.
And now it's time for our storyline quote of the week. Sympathetic means likable. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, for example. The moment they step on screen, we like them. They have an innate likability and evoke sympathy. Empathy, however, is a more profound response. Empathetic means like me. Deep within the protagonist, the audience recognizes a certain shared humanity. An audience may, if so moved, empathize with every character in your film, but it must empathize with your protagonist. If not, the audience story bond is broken.
One word or phrase that you hear a lot of movie geeks talk about is pacing. The pacing wasn't good, the pacing was good, etc. It's not very often, though, that you hear an example of what they mean.
George, come look at this. I just used the word pacing. I have no idea what it means. But I look intelligent.
So, for the purposes of our discussion, there's 2 kinds of pacing. Action pacing and emotional pacing, and they should both be treated about the same. Think of your film as a 400-meter swim. You want to stay under and swim for as long as possible because you're faster that way. But every now and then you have to come up and take a breath. Now, if you have an action movie, you can't have all action all the time. You need to have some slower, emotional scenes. In a drama, you can't have all dark, moody, brooding scenes. You need some humor thrown in there. In comedies, you can't have all laughing. You need some seriousness. The trick with pacing is figuring out how far your audience can go before they need that breath of air. By the same token, you shouldn't let them have that breath until they really, really, really need it. In action, build your tension and build it and build it and build it, and then finally give them the sequence climax and let them have that breath. In comedy, time the tender moments so that they're just shy of peeing their pants. In drama, the best laughs always come immediately after the most emotional moments. Now, at the risk of losing my man card, Steel Magnolias does this perfectly.
Wait, what?
Zip it. I'm getting somewhere with this. Now, right after Malin's speech at the end about how devastated she is at the loss of her daughter, Weezer gives one of the best laugh lines in the whole movie. It comes out of nowhere, and it is exactly what the audience needs in that moment.
What the audience needs in that moment is to not be watching Steel Magnolias. That's what they need.
Yeah, I'm with James on this one.
Wrong. They're wrong. My wife agrees. Do you have wives? No. All right.
You're gonna do
That
that.
was low.
You.
Wait a second, TJ.
Yeah,
We have women who watch our show, right?
I think so.
Ladies.
Now, we realized that we had a dramatic slow scene, followed by a dramatic slow scene, followed by a dramatic slow scene. And all of this was coming off a fairly light-hearted opening with a lot happening in it. So we decided it was time to change things up a little bit. First off, we wanted banter. TJ loves to write banter, and we hadn't had any. A second, we needed action. James loves action, and we hadn't had any. So we decided to open with a tracking shot, right? Keep moving Alyssa around the room, have her and David tossing a ball in their verbal sparring with each other. We of course couldn't have too much action because we're pacing it, so we'll try and build that up as the story progresses. We'll hopefully have more scenes like this coming more frequently now that we're starting to really get the story moving. Let's take a quick second to thank our sponsor for this episode, the Dirt Poets. The Dirt Poets are the actual band behind the Stereotypes. John Mark Lundell, who's playing Kenny, Dan Bauman, who's playing Morgan, and Jody Lundell, John Mark's brother, who helped us make Ellen's guitar. And I'm hoping Jody will lay down some guitar tracks for us when the time comes. Anyway, they're a real band, and they've got a show coming up 2 weeks from today. That's today when this goes live, not today when we're shooting it. Oh, it's the 29th of December at the Center Street Tavern in Ackworth, and you should totally go see it. For details on that show, you can check out their website, thedirtpoets.com. Oh heck, we'll just make them the Artist of the Week too. That opening song, anyway, that's the Dirt Poets, a little song called Flipside, so you should totally go check them out. Great show. So that's it for this episode. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. They send you an email whenever we release a new episode, so that's a good way to make sure that you're not missing out. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, send us an email. So many different ways to connect. Now, just so everybody knows what's coming, Christmas is going to happen between this episode and the next one, so there's not going to be any new movie content. What we are going to do is go back and review all 6 parts of the Stereotypes that we have released to date. Hopefully this will give everybody, including us, a glimpse at how we're doing on the pace of the film, what feels slow or where we've missed things. And it will give us an opportunity to go back and clean up a few things that we wanted to improve, but just ran out of time. So come on back for that next time. Now, after the new year, we'll be back on track with the further adventures of the Stereotypes. We'll see you. Jules and Vincent are horrible people in that movie. Horrible. They're horrible people. They won't want to... Oh, this... Okay. Save the puppy. It's... You should totally see what it's written on the teleprompter. Wow! That's the Dirt Poets.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Dirt Poets.